Take it away.
I like follow on, yeah. That's my little like front. Oh, I know, I did.
Good to go.
Oh, just this. Did you get one? Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry.
No.
Waiting for anybody in the attendance.
Oh, you printed it, okay. You want one? Yeah, there you go, thank you.
Yeah. LPHS is on.
Maybe it's
Lisa is also on. Lisa is online.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I mean, how could
In my school. Parents come in. Being there.
Oh,
I mean,
that's like,
and I just.
your kid. Wow. From what? Like the kid, I got an alert because she fucking I'm pretty sure I said to your daddy, to your daddy right now. Handle it, because yeah.
It says shall not be counted for purpose of determining whether the.
And I know you're right.
Yeah.
And shall have no vote. I never knew that.
Oh.
Okay. Even I. Remember.
I'm getting these alerts. It's finished.
That's student members. Same way.
Yeah, it's just like.
And I'm kind of, but they really don't reach them. So I can kind of be like, oh, okay, send forward. I'm very, I mean, I know what you said, Siriano, 7. Here, they came from.
I think they were just here. From the.
Any, but now we have more. I got at least 400. My daughters. I kind of counted them. Like, they're like, yeah.
I was thinking during this
Yeah.
time, if they were.
Kids from the morning. It was a substitute teacher that came in with a. Yeah. And. He was.
I think we only had. Many people only had.
Yeah. Like she did, like and it's got there. I was like, I don't have any knowledge because it's not like I mean learning that who knows what was said, like well that's good, yeah, you know, like, but it does make you aware of. Like, well, you know, sure. Hopefully, they told other people.
Yeah.
On the lookout for. Share. Like, it's not pro or against. Like, I can't wait. I'm gonna get stoned. Maybe next. I think 10 of a 1 or 2. Like. Baba. I recall what the number was.
It's 2024.
Baba. Peter.
13.
I can find them. Yeah,
Yeah, we're done with.
yeah, but there's a question about the principal doesn't, and the students. But I'm expecting that will.
Yeah, what is it? Is it 10 for quorum? 7
Well,
for quorum, and then 1.
That's where we're trying to.
Well, we're checking. The principal or the student reps.
Well, yeah, no, the thing about.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Told me to say no.
5 years later, just figuring that out. Oh my God.
I'm just double check, especially if we vote. I don't want it to be like.
Were you?
Okay.
I'm showing you. I'll tell the friends. Yeah.
Good, good. We're waiting for. Get that. Hopefully we can. Would say, but we're gonna be. People are gonna think, oh, they're not voting. We're gonna divide it.
Now.
Doesn't matter, but.
Sorry. Yeah.
Sit back.
Whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for coming. Also. And it's great to have you here. Make a good.
Yes, exactly.
This is the. Yeah.
Sorry. No, you start to say that we shouldn't say we can.
This is the new one.
Yes. Well, it's. School 8. Yeah, because we have, because we have.
I was like.
Neither do I. 7 members must be physically present at the meeting of the LSC Department of Athletics at high school. 8 members must be physically present. So.
It's like. So what are you skipping school about? What's that? Should I email Eric, Mr. Lesky?
There's a form present. Angela.
Considering like principal.
Yeah, exactly. So does that mean?
They're looking it up right now.
Personnel matters. What, so wait, actually, so we're short now. So. Actually, have 13, so 7 would be our, right?
Oh, that's our majority, but I think that for the LCD, even if they're like, I'm pretty sure that they say sorry.
I don't know.
I mean, we can still, we just can't.
Yeah. Maybe. Majority required to go to budget.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Same one.
So we can, I mean,
Okay.
so we.
I gotta put this in the mailbox.
we'll,
Okay.
Like.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I need a budget.
We're gonna vote in minutes. We don't have to.
But it says personally present. Right? They have.
You have to hit one.
So we are gonna do.
Not sure if we'll have. We're not sure. We count. Oh, why can't we? He's the teacher. He's literally.
And we could, do is,
Supposed to run the rest of the meeting. Find out. Like. That's
I can just talk and say the school and they're on. We jump them. No, we jump to the school. And then really there shouldn't be any business. On schedule. Any. Hopefully by then.
Oh my God, Miss Taylor, I love this.
Otherwise, they're not talking to us.
Your announcement. You can chill until 2:09. Come hang with me. Yeah.
And people are.
Hi, everybody. Just thank you for coming. And I know it's a little bit after 4. We are short forum. We have several members who are delayed. So we're not able to formally
Do we
have
not
our
know?
meeting. No. So we can't conduct any business, which is like budget transfers or votes on anything. We do have time for public comment, and I'd like to wait for other members to be here to hear that public comment. But it shouldn't be too long. What we can do is Dr. Steinmiller has a presentation called The State of the School, sort of the State of the Union from an academic perspective on Lincoln Park. And he can begin that as just to informationally. And then once we get quorum, we can move into some of those business items, public comment, and then any votes against. Okay. Also, one other thing is I have to go out of town for a family matter tonight, and I have to leave in just like a half hour. So Amy Zemnick is going to be conducting the meeting. I leave. She'll be here short. So just a couple logistical items, kind of last minute tonight. But we are excited to hear about the state of the school. So Dr. Steinmiller, would you like to start with that? Yes. 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 100%. Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Yeah.
Yes. Totally fine. And something also to think about, we do need, we have to have quorum, we also have our budget transfers that we need to make sure we have every press, because if we lose quorum, we can't approve those either. So those are the only things I know that we have for vote today is just fast track speed through all of it. Kind of do that quickly. We also can't approve anybody virtually participate because we don't have a meeting. But all right, one more towards the quorum.
So we don't count.
Not
I
yet.
don't,
We don't have.
it's
down.
it's
Yeah, the
non,
principal and the students are not.
there's
part of that
in their
penalty.
guidance, non-principal, non-students. Yeah. All right, let me, sorry, my brain was set for about 30 minutes from now, so let me get this all lined up.
We still. We don't count it as one.
It's in the-
It's always been like that, but I wasn't aware of the principal enough to be in.
Well, most of us count it.
Thing.
Oh.
All right. Well, we'll do this a little bit earlier than I anticipated. I'll hop right into the state of the school, and this is really important information. We can record this as separate from the LSC meeting. It's just a general share out of data and information and not a formal part of the LSC meeting. But I think it's important to share that anyway. I'm going to go through several things pretty quickly just so that you see kind of the general things. This is a template that comes out of the district. There is a set communication about CPS's vision aligned with consistent data that is consistent across all the schools in Chicago Public Schools. There's 601 schools, over 130 high schools. So this is consistent with all of that information. And it's the same data set. So it's not a unique data set to Lincoln Park, but actually shares everything that we are doing as a school. I did throw in some really cool slides that represent our school as a kind of our focuses, but this is focusing on the purpose of what CPS is focusing on within this work. And obviously this is our 150th. These are our school vision and missions. They've been established for an extended period of time. I would definitely at some point would like to revisit and make sure we have a shared and focused vision as a school aligned with IB, but we'll get to that at some other point. These are the overall things that you see within the district that we are focusing on as we're looking at ethical and collaborative leaders, inquisitive learners, empowered decision makers. We're also looking at shrink my screen. Engage community members, adaptable and independent thinking. There are also these core values that we've been consistently focusing on as a district: student-centered, whole child, equity, academic excellence, community partnerships, and continuous learning. And then these are some of the philosophical shifts that the district is making in our priority areas. You notice the term every student, every school, every community.
And so trying to make sure that we have these targeted kind of universalisms around instruction and curriculum and access. The student daily experiences, I don't think we'd object with any of these concepts of making sure that we have daily learned experiences of our students that are rigorous, joyful, and equitable. But these are, again, the district-wide expectations as we go into this. So then we start thinking about continuous improvement in our school year. What are some of the things that we can make sure data is transparent to all stakeholders? That's students, parents, teachers, LSC. What does that mean as we look at this data set, which is consistent with every other high school in Chicago? So we're looking at that evidence, condition, and also thinking of the resources and the responsibility and role of, well, eventually when we have our LSC meeting, talking about how we align those resources to be able to meet the continued needs of our students. And obviously looking at daily practice. So in the past, you heard of the SQRP, which was how schools are rated. We're shifting away from that. That's all student outcome based. There is now a shift to look at student teacher practices. What does instruction look like in the classroom through school visits and other data points, as well as making the curriculum public to all schools. What does that look like for curriculum instruction? It's something as an IB school that should be a part of our general practice anyway, but this is something that the district and state are moving towards. We will again look at a consistent set of data across the board as we look into the school year. The LSC, we do have our continuous improvement work plan. These are the 3 priorities we as a school are focusing on, in which as an LSC, our PPLC and different groups focus on how can we support these areas. It's curriculum instruction, post-secondary success, and connectedness and well-being. So those are things that we are trying to strive and goals associated that we want to achieve in this 3-year period. I won't go into this more, but these are living and breathing documents. So as we reflect on our curriculum instruction practices, it's okay to come back to it and say, how can we do things differently? What progress are we making? I will report on this twice a year. Obviously, this is a part of some of the things that we are looking and moving towards. And you see that in information when I talk about some of our unit planning, our learning walks, but also how we're reflecting on our getting ready for our IB evaluation that is coming up. Post-secondary success, it's not just a single class. It's about the continuum of our students learning from coming in as 9th graders all the way to graduating, enrolling, and persisting in universities after Lincoln Park High School. And those are things that we want to strive towards. But also we want our students to feel safe, supported, and included. And what does that look like? Our students just completed, for example, the Cultivate survey. So there are questions that we can reflect on, the student experience, which is the district is taking a shift towards really making sure they're paying attention to that information. So we have the unique thing of post-secondary planning and post-secondary objectives compared to elementary schools. So let's get into it. This is a data set that is given to us by the district. And so you can see the purpose of this is to share metrics over a period of time, 3 years, 1 year. I also am aware of just the data of when they started collecting this from the very beginning. As we are striving towards doing the best we can at Lincoln Park High School, since these type of metrics started in 2012. And so these are things that we are continually going to look at, pay attention to, because it's the student experience. I'm going to delete or close the participants. You can actually see the slide. I do want to go through the glossary of these terms so that you actually know what I'm talking about. There are several different data points that we're looking at. One is, and this is brand new to Chicago Public Schools, it's chronic absenteeism. And that means when students are missing 10% of their enrolled days at a school, it's 18 days. And so that means if a student, for example, in high school is like misses first and second period, they get half day credit. They don't get a full day credit. So even that doesn't sound 4 periods, that's not how the district adds this up. So even if a student misses 2 periods, they only get half day credit. Those things can stack up. We also have seniors who have senior events going on. They graduate a bit early. So there are things that we have to pay attention to. And this includes excused absence. So if a student is, for example, hospitalized for 18 days, they are chronically absent. If a student families are gone for a week at the beginning of school, and there are things that actually also impact. So it does include excused and unexcused. So we as a school want to actually dig deeper into that. I think that's a very superficial kind of reflection. There's not enough information. We'll talk about that later. Graduation rate. You look at 2 different types of graduation rate. There's 4-year and the 5-year. That's students who then have that extra year. And so when you look at data, when we're looking at our 5-year of this year, it's the students who graduated in 2023. When we look at 4-year, it's the students who graduated in 2024. So those are the, just to make, you can kind of see that the ceiling, your ceiling for basically your bottom of 5-year is what your 4-year was. So if it was 85%, then you can only go up from 85%. If it's 80%, you can only go up from 80%. College enrollment. This is when all of our seniors, they graduate. Over the summer, we monitor where students are going and they're going to the schools they indicated going, and they actually enroll in the school. And so they go to that school for the semester. Early in college career credentials. This is where our students, really important to our school and all schools, but this would be your IB credentials and passing an exam, your AP test and passing exams, state seal of biliteracy, ARTC, dual enrollment. We have students who do career opportunity or like college or career preparatory programs, for example, construction. So there's a variety of different options for students to be able to earn early college career credentials. There's the AP exam, which you notice is IB is not on this list because all schools have access to AP, not all schools have access to IB. So we can report out on our progress with IB at a later time. College readiness, PSAT, SAT. Yes, we no longer have the SAT and PSAT as a part of how schools are being measured in the state. But that's a data point we're looking at. It will be the ACT moving forward. And then 9th grade freshman on track. Again, if a student is off track as a freshman, that means they failed 2 classes. Math in the fall, math in the spring, they are off track. They have a 20% chance of graduating high school. And so these are things that we also want to pay attention to. All of this has a way in which they are connecting with each other in this data. So here we go. This is basically all the levels of the last 3 years. You probably can't see it all the way in the back, but you can see just a trend of all these different areas and the different topics. I have slides in which I can narrow down and you actually see the specific data, so I will get to those right away. Here's what I want you to see in the overall metrics. This is a 1-year change. Early in college career credentials, we have improved drastically, right? We're seeing a 10% swing of students earning college career credits. Again, pretty amazing. You look at our 4-year graduation rates. That means, you know, from the previous year, our seniors, we had an increase in our graduation rate, our AP exam rate, pass rate went up, our 9th grade on track rate went up, and our college enrollment rate went up. So these are really great things for us to see, things we have to pay attention to, and we have to shift actually. College readiness as it pertains to the PSAT is down 0.1%. Our 5-year graduation rate is down, and our college readiness is down on SAT. There's no reference in college SAT at this point. So, and these are, and we're have thoughts and theories around a lot of these different points, but these are the areas in which you see growth and the areas in which we have areas of development. This is chronic absenteeism because we don't have anything to reference, but things that we presented this to the instructional leadership team or department chairs, start referencing what does this work look like in our SEL spaces, but also in our departments. Because you can see there are trends, and there are trends across all the data points. When you see this ED reference here, that's economically disadvantaged. So we're seeing that our students who are economically disadvantaged are having the highest level of absence. And there's a lot of, we're not going to get into root causes as an LSC. Our point is then as in our departments and as a school, how are we trying to address that theme? Your second tier are Black female students, then it goes to our Black students, and we have students with disabilities. So then what are we doing to start targeting support? We've been focusing on attendance as a priority, but again, this is talking about students who have missed 18 days in the different groups in which we're representing us. This is the 5-year cohort graduation rate, 1-year change. And when I look at it, when we look at it as types of data, again, these are students who graduated in 23 and were freshmen in 2019. 20. So yeah, so these would have been freshmen, their freshman year would have been graduating in school year 19. And so we can see that over that time period that we have students with disabilities and increase, English learners, our Black students have shown progress, tremendous progress over the time period, but our Latinx students and our economically disadvantaged students are something or an area we need to focus on in that long-term plan. So you're going to see a number, like the number associated with this is 566, I think, because in fall of 18, spring of 2019, there were 566 students. So then graduation over 5 years, how many made it? They dropped out. No, you didn't. We know that there has been some statistics around actually some dropouts, areas of students who are off track. You're not going to graduate. So these are things that we're thinking about of the students who entered as freshmen in SY19. This is how we compare to the network. And it's not okay. This is not good enough. And we see compared to our network and all the other 30 plus schools in our network, it does include selective enrollments. But this is something that we have to be focusing on is what is that 5-year graduation? And we see that it's not good enough. And how do we make sure that all of our incoming freshmen are prepared and over a 4-year period here are ready to graduate in 4 years? Now, this is our 4-year cohort graduation. These are the students who started their freshman year in the year of COVID, actually. So these were all students were all freshmen during COVID, and then this is the progress that we've made for the graduation rate compared to the year. And so pretty much across the board, we have some significant.
They're freshmen in college.
These are freshmen in college, right? So this is the group. That's why it's 462 students. That was a really small freshman class, COVID class. It was 1920. Started as freshman. This is the fall of COVID. These were all our COVID students. That's why you have 460 students. But over 4 years, we've been supporting, and you see that we actually have an increased amount of growth for your graduation. The previous class. However, our Black students have just basically come even. We do have a dip overall with our Black male students, but we have an increase support. But this is an area we focus, and as we're thinking about supporting our students for the graduation rate, we're thinking about strategies in which we're supporting all of our high-speed students from freshman year all the way to the time they graduate. We have strategies in some place. I really appreciate it. Shut out right now. Anyway, Miss Stias and Squadry and Stonewall are doing targeted tutoring Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, supporting a prioritized group of our Black students. I think it's important that you're connecting with students who have been struggling continuously, as we see, at Lincoln Park High School, and getting to a graduation point, 5-year graduation point, dropout point, all the areas I'll continue to talk about now. That's something that we have a priority. And so we need to make sure that's also aligned with our CIWP, that are we really calling out what we need to support all students at Lincoln Park High School. However, there's some significant increases, which when you see that blue across the board, that's a real positive trend for Lincoln Park High School. Again, it's still not good enough. Now we've seen an increase where there's an improvement coming in from the previous graduation rates. We are on the way. There's a positive trajectory. Again, this would be the 1920 fall. This freshman. These would be the 1819 freshmen. All right. So we are now starting to see a uptick on graduation rate, which is great. Make sure I'm going the right way. College enrollment rate. So this is something that I want to also be able to share. These are students who are enrolling in college. And so what you can see right here, we have our students with disabilities, we have our Latinx students, non-Black Latinx students, Black female students, our Latina and Latino male students. We're seeing an increased amount of students who are enrolling in college. Our areas to focus on, as the theme continues, is our economically disadvantaged students, our Black students, and our Black male students. So we have to do better. And we have to think outside the box. We have to think differently about how we're supporting Black students and economically disadvantaged students at our school. So this is our college enrollment. You can see the overall trend with our college enrollment rates. We're doing an exceptional job compared to the network. We've gone from 85.5, 88.5. And I want to bring us back to last year when I presented the LSC. How I was excited I was about 88.5 because 88.5 was awesome. Because the highest we've had at Lincoln Park High School is 88.6. We're currently at 89. So this is the highest college enrollment rate to be at. And this is exciting. And this, I'm extremely proud of our teachers and teams for accomplishing this. This is the work of Mr. Young, our college career coach. This is our counselors who work tirelessly with our students to make sure they are finding the right schools that are the right fit for them. It's balancing that. When we were doing our recommendations of classes, we're talking about how we can give you access to college level classes earlier. It better prepares students for match fit school. And we're seeing the product. I'm proud of our teaching staff, proud of our students, proud of everybody for accomplishing. This is the best we've had at Lincoln Park High School. And we should wear that. We should be very proud. Batter up. Next is early college career cadets. So this is how our students earn college credit, career credits. Again, this is IB, this is advanced placement, this is through our state seal of biliteracy, through JRTC, through all the things I kind of talked about. You see across the board, we are seeing improvement. Dual enrollment counts. We don't offer dual credit. That's what our teachers are teaching the college class. But we do have students who are going to our city colleges or partner schools to earn credit through those universities. Across the board, and it's not just a 0.2, double-digit increase across the board in all of our subgroups except students with disabilities. This is our chart. How do we create those offerings for our students with disabilities? What does that look like? What creative options can we have? What, we have cluster programs. Is there certifications that our students can earn that go straight into a career that put them in a better position? There's a lot of options. This is our charge to see that improvement next year. Again, we have our Latino male students is another area that we have to focus on. So not have no problem. So yeah, students with disabilities, students with IEPs. And so already talking with our teams about how can we be creative with those offerings. I would love to see this continue to grow, but this is significant. And as I get into the next slide, early college career credentials. And we're at 71.3, 75.9. Our highest in school's history. Oh, I'm going to misquote it. 5.3. 5. Regardless, I'm not going to get the right one. 75.9, highest in Lincoln Park High School. So this is another way in which we're making sure students have access to advanced classes, college level classes, and are finding success with it. So we've almost doubled the amount of students who are taking advanced placement classes. We're providing access at a freshman level. Some of the things you think around it, and there's a lot of research about this. A student having access to an AP class early on, even if they get a 1, a 2 is freshman, then they take AP US history their sophomore year. Even if they get a 2 that second year, are now learning about those experiences of what this likes over a period of time. So by the time they're juniors or seniors, they know what that looks like, and they're more prepared to enroll and persist in college. And so that's what we're doing here. I mean, our success rate of our junior AP government team, they are rocking. So over 70% of our students are earning college credit. It's amazing. And so these are the overall experiences. The same thing are happening with our IB students and all the experiences they are having, accessing college level learning. But this is balancing growth. More of our students have access to these opportunities. And I want that to continue to grow, because that is the purpose of high school. That's the purpose of why we are here. This is awesome. I want to be here. Can't wait to be this, and I can't wait to be the other. Why we aren't at 90% yet? We will, when it comes to our students who are enrolling in college. I see a lot of wonderful students in this room. You will be the people pushing this too. So again, this is something to be celebrated, but it's a charge for us. How are we making sure that all students have access to those opportunities? We should be proud of this work, because this is the work directly of our teachers as they're supporting our students coming in as freshmen for a 4-year journey. There are students who come in who are not ready for those experiences at freshmen. They're getting access to it. We have students who are ready for it, and they're accelerating into all college level classes. So this is something to also be extremely proud of. AP exam. This is our 1-year change. The amount of students who are finding success with their AP exam. Now you have to think over time. We used to have more of a targeted group of students taking AP classes. We've been able to increase access where testing is difficult with it, but we have sometimes over 300 students taking certain tests. It's a lot. But what you're seeing is the outcomes happening here is our students are starting across the board to achieve those early college career credits through advanced placement. I have a data point, but it's not in this. seeing that almost our Black male population of students is almost doubling the amount of students who are in credit three. That's been an area in which every slide I showed before, we were struggling. We're not here. 9.4%. This is really positive. This is really positive, and it's the hard work of our students for digging in, and our teachers providing access, and our teacher scaffolding supports for 4-year. So this is where we are at. Again, students with disabilities, Latinx students, and our Latino male students. How do we target on areas that we know that we need to provide more support? Thanks for us. Yeah.
Do you have a sense? I noticed the Black numbers are way up, Latino, not as much. Do you know how much the sort of non-English speakers would be included in?
That's actually some questions. The ILT, they want to see, I don't want to misrepresent data without having it right in front of me. We're going to dig into a lot of the points about what does that look like. A lot of newcomers come in. If our newcomers come in, for example, and they're at a junior level and now graduate out. So there's things that we're going to teach down as a group. So this is our AP exam 1-year change. But again, this is pretty significant change for us as a school for continuing to grow. And what you see is, again, this is success rate. The cool part about it is we're starting to see more and more students engage in advanced placement. You see that the scores are relatively plateaued. You have to think we have way more students taking AP exams, and we're still finding a consistent trend of success. So that's something for us to really be proud of and excited about. Again, it's a charge and a challenge to balance this work. I honestly want every one of our students to have access to college credentials before they graduate. Yeah.
We pause since we have. I know Peter wants to, in a minute,
I think we do 6, 7.
We need one more.
We need one
but
more.
we're 14. Oh, quorum is 7 plus.
I apologize, everyone. Here's the thing. We can make a decision where we could allow public comment, and the one person who's not here, they can listen to the recording. I think we should do that. We can. It was just trying to get more LSC members here to hear people for the public.
I'm fine. So I will pause. On the AP exams and go from there.
So public comment, when you come up, you have 2 minutes and we'll time you. Please come. We welcome anyone in person or online to make a statement. Also, this is sort of a one-way thing right now. We won't be responding, but we will thank you for your comments.
We're not allowed to respond.
Yes. Yeah, and you have 2 minutes.
But we will take what you say and integrate it in the later discussion.
Yeah. Okay.
My name is John Hendel. I'm here before you today to express my deep concern over the potential elimination of mock exams at Lincoln Park High School, which will hurt the students more than it helps it in the long term. Mock exams have helped others and myself be more able to better study for both AP and IB exams. Though I understand that more time through eliminating these exams would be given to classes that are taken in the gym, I and many others deeply believe that intellectual education of the mind, rather through education for exercise, is our primary and singular priority as a school. So by this logic, makes mock exams should not be able to be eliminated from the school. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Lincoln Park community. My name is Gabby Paschke, and I am a junior and student in the IB program. I'm here to share my thoughts on the new IB mock exam timetable that is being considered, as well as the elimination of the exams altogether. And I believe that mock exams are very helpful for the students to prepare for the actual exams that come at the end of their senior year. And they give them an idea of what to expect and provide valuable early experience. Since administration is considering changing the scheduling of the exams or potentially doing away with them altogether, I want to share my perspective as an IB student. I think the mocks should not be optional. That would leave the students who didn't take them woefully unprepared for exams that are so far away that aren't even being carefully considered at the moment, and any preparation at all is very helpful. Exams pay into your future as an IB student, and I don't think it should be an option to opt out when an IB student's perspective has a lot of time to change. It's been the status quo at Lincoln Park for a long time, and teachers would also need to drastically adjust their lesson planning towards the end of the year. This is a very established system. It's worked for a long time, and it will continue to do so. I also believe that it's in the IB students' best interest to have the exams scheduled on school days as opposed to weekends. Arranging them during school hours gives the students less room to be assigned more work to do. And by that point in the year, content is essentially busy work or preparatory work. In that case, you might as well just give them actual mocks.
Thank you very
for
much for your
time.
comments.
Hello, my name is London Robeson, and I am currently a junior in the IB Diploma Program. I would like to express my gratitude for the opportunity to participate in this discussion today. Recently, I was informed about potential changes to the scheduling of the mock exams, and I want to share my strong concerns about these adjustments. First and foremost, I believe the mock exams should remain scheduled on school days and be mandatory. The student body is already facing challenges with motivation, and moving these exams to off days or weekends could result in significantly lower attendance. When students are expected to come in on non-school days, the likelihood of engagement and commitment naturally decreases, which could detract from the purpose of the exams. Furthermore, these mock exams serve as a crucial step in preparing for the final IB exams. According to the Academic Family's website, mock exams are highly beneficial as they allow students to identify areas that they need improvement on before the final exam. Making the mock exams optional or adjusting the schedule will reduce accessibility and create barriers for students who may rely on this structured opportunity to assess and improve their readiness. For many of us, mock exams are the only chance we have to experience a full-length formal exam in a controlled setting before the actual IB exams. This practice not only builds familiarity with the testing environment, but also instills confidence, which is essential for performing well under real exam conditions. Personally, having this structured practice is invaluable. It directly contributes to my understanding of the material and prepares me to succeed for the final exams. In light of these points, I urge you to reconsider the proposed changes to the mock exam structure. Retaining the current schedule would uphold the quality of preparation that students have come to depend on, ensuring that we can enter our final exams equipped with knowledge, experience, and confidence needed to excel. Thank you for considering my perspective.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Lincoln Park and community. My name is Joanne Estebal, and I am a junior in the
Yeah, sorry, we're just swapping positions here. We'll be done with this meeting in about 10 minutes. Yeah. Okay. All right, ready?
Good evening, Lincoln Park and community. My name is Joanne Estebal, and I am a junior currently in the IBDP program. I would like to thank you for giving us this opportunity to speak up about our concerns about the possible changes happening to the IB and AP mock exam track plan. As a student who took AP World and APUSH, the mock exams were a significant help to preparing for the actual exams in May. We were able to process what our strengths and weaknesses were when taking the full-length test. Well, yes, we can take these practice exams outside of school. It was a great help that Lincoln Park offered mock exams for students who are in the AP classes. If the mock exam plan is changed, with students already feeling stressed about being in the rigorous, as you know, IBDB program, as well as AP, this could lead to disadvantages of students preparing for these exams. Me and other students as well also struggle with taking these exams thoroughly for 3 hours straight. And if the mock exam were to be taken out possibly, this would not only add on to our stress, but also come exam day when we don't know what is happening on the test, especially to the students who are in the DP program, choosing the time and opportunity
to take these AP exams for potential college credit. Thank you for listening, and I hope you can reconsider.
Yellow Camarena, but I'm going to be saying a speech from Elizabeth Deeds. She wasn't able to be here today. So, hello, my name is Elizabeth Deeds, and I am an IBDP senior. Mock testing is nobody's favorite time of the year, but it's a necessary evil. As you've likely heard, mock tests not only prepare students for what they could be tested on, but they also prepare students, especially those with learning differences, on testing conditions. These are included, but not limited to lights, sounds, tables, chairs, etc. Since my brother was diagnosed with severe learning disabilities, I've done everything in my power to advocate for him, but also others as well. This is especially important for people with autism, just like my brother. Taking away mock testing not only takes away students' chance at accessing their academic achievement, but it also proves to be detrimental to people that require practice and experience in order to feel comfortable and safe in an environment. However, the proposal to conduct testing in class is not a substantial substitute. As I said, mock testing gets students prepared for everything in the testing environment, which a classroom setting simply cannot do. I finished. Let me leave you with this. LPHS may not have all the bells and whistles that other schools have, but we pride ourselves on diversity. So why should we get rid of something that limits our educational diversity?
My name is Kamathi Stewart. I'm a junior in the IBDP program, and considering I recently heard about the potential ban or the potential restriction of mock exams, and I would like to pose a question. IBDP, or the IB program itself, is centered around a world of learning, inquiry, trying to develop into the learners of the future and the people that are supposed to push our world to a better place. So by preventing the mock exams, by making this course, for lack of a better word, more difficult for the students that are present in the exam, that's going to dissuade other people from potentially coming into the IB program and actually helping to better our future. The students that we have right now, the students that are in the program, me, myself, and all the people that are around here, we're smart. We know that, but there's so many people that are, but we're smart and we're scared. There's so many issues with removing the mock exam. We need the preparation, we need the time, and rumors tend to spread like wildfire. And if you want more people in the IB program, then you need to stop making it so scary. So, yeah, that's all I have to say.
Hey, everybody. Thanks. Oh. We were only told this yesterday. So there are typos in this. Forgive me, that would be embarrassing, but I could only do so much last night. And also, there's tons of research and sites. I could not find any last night to counter that mock exams, when done effectively, are not a benefit to students. And so that's, I'm not going to do the whole thing. Obviously, I don't have. I'm here today. My name is Sandra Kaler, and I've been a teacher for 28 years in the CPS system, 22 here, 23 at Lincoln Park. And I'm here as an advocate for my students. My philosophy as a teacher this entire time is my students come first and what is best for student achievement. It is never really about what is in my best interest or what is easier for me. So thank you for your work and for listening. I'm here to discuss what seems to me and others a unilateral administrative decision to disrupt Lincoln Park's successful academic program. In an email yesterday to the entire faculty and LSC, Dr. Steinmiller, with no open, transparent dialogue yet, wants to do away with how mock exams at LPHS have been historically, intentionally, and with proven results for thousands of students administered. Instead, Dr. Steinmiller, quote, would like to engage our teachers in options of mocks, and he did add that for next Wednesday, adding that he sees an avenue for teachers to administer mock exams during the students' regular class periods in that content area. A suggestion is, quote, teams can plan to divide the exam over multiple days. That is not what a mock exam is. What a mock exam is they're held to resemble the actual AP and DP exams in May and are designed to give students the experience of the examination process. One, mocks promote reflection and assessment. Two, it promotes time management skills. Three, it enhances confidence. Familiarity breeds confidence. Four, identification of weaknesses as a result of taking the exams. Mock exams offer real-time feedback. Six, stress reduction. Talking about equity, fear of the unknown is a major stressor during exams. To do away with this would be having the opportunity for students to have it. Yeah, sorry. I know, I'm sorry. The rest is in there. I'm going to sit, but I'm going to pop back up because I'm also a parent of an IB student.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
Let me make sure that even speaking to.
Let's have someone.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, yeah, you can do it.
like, oh,
That's
yeah,
right.
I'm a student of the IBDP program. I'm a senior. I think everyone's addressed the concerns about like the mock exams preparing you for the actual exam. I know me and many other seniors are planning on applying internationally as an IB student, and the mock exams are often required by many universities. That's more so my concern. I think they do a good job of preparing you, but a lot of universities in Europe, for example, do require you to have a mock exam as like a preparatory thing. Like I don't know. We take them March, and you have to apply in May, right? These schools want you to supply a preparatory score or a mock exam, so they have like at least some degree of certainty that you'll perform as well on your IB exam. And they don't let you apply without a mock exam. If you were to remove these, many students, this year, next year, and 5 years wouldn't be able to apply or would have a much harder time applying abroad. And I don't think that's fair to anyone because you just can't apply to many schools, and that's just it's something I'm concerned about. I know other people were concerned about 2 hours ago when we found out we were talking about it. It's just yeah.
Hi, my name is Quinn Doe. I am currently a junior in IBDP. I would like to say that I find that practice tests, even tests like that are prerequisites, such as the newest addition to our AP courses, AP Pre-Calc, it was especially beneficial to me. Right now, I am currently in AP BC Calculus, and I'm still using some skills that I use from AP Pre-Calc. But more importantly, that AP BC Pre-Calc test really taught me how to study for math. So the removal of these IB mock exams would lead to me to panic more, to wonder what these tests are about, to see what these formats are. So I really beg you to keep these mock exams. Thank you.
Just as long as you stay on your role as a parent, not a teacher.
And not bleed
Yeah.
into. Yep. Yeah. And yeah, I'll do that. Hello, I'm a parent of two students at Lincoln Park High School. One a senior in the diploma program, one a sophomore that is in an AP US class, but was brought into the visual arts program. Both of my kids chose Lincoln Park High School, even though they had other selective enroll options. Just to let you know that they're not here just because I'm a teacher that happens to be a parent. What as a parent concerns me, again, students and parents were not informed of this. The only reason, and it's interesting that an email went out a day before the LSC meeting, not giving students or parents an opportunity to discuss doing away with what has been institutionally strong. I am not opposed to change. I am opposed to change when it doesn't need to be changed and it's already successful. My kids chose this school and I chose this school because of what Lincoln Park is. By continuing to dismantle what works instead of finding creative ways to deal with the challenges that present themselves. This is not equity, right? Equality is not about dismantling the top to make it better with the bottom. That's mediocrity. It's lifting up the bottom and pulling up to what has been historically successful. So that has always been my mantra as a parent with this administration. We have to be creative, communicative, and transparent. Thank you.
Wait. That we don't have. What? Do we continue this? No, do the work? Yeah. We've added for it.
No, we need in person. We're gonna have to have an emergency meeting if we need any budget measures passed. Oh, okay, we'll be fine.
He has a child care.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry.
I'm Allison McGannon. I'm a parent of a 10th grader here. I am here to talk about exams, but not mock exams. I'm here to talk about other exams. So I'm so glad the students spoke about their concerns. I don't have an IB student, so I was not aware of anything about the mock exams, but I'm here to talk about the elimination of PSATs. I know CPS eliminated offering the SAT, and they are going to be offering the ACT before, as a requirement for graduation. And so in the spring, my understanding is students will be taking a pre-ACT. I think that's going to be offered to 9th through 11th graders. However, even though the kids are not going to be taking SATs here as provided by CPS, they can take it outside through College Board. And without taking the PSAT here, they will not have the opportunity to take the PSAT anywhere else. You have to take it at your high school. The PSAT is a different test. It's not the same as the pre-ACT. It doesn't just prepare you to take the SAT. In the 11th grade, it actually entitles you, if you do well enough on it, to national merit scholarships. And so if our students don't have the opportunity to take it here, they are just out of the running. It's my understanding that this was a decision made by teacher vote. I think that they vote on assessments that those, are on the calendar for the school year. It was not a CPS decision because other CPS high schools are taking the PSAT in 9th through 11th grade in the fall. They have already done it. Amundsen's done it. Lane Tech's done it. Jones has done it. Whitney's done it. So other students in the district are getting the opportunity to take the PSAT and our kids are not. I really think this is going to put our kids at a disadvantage when they're applying to college. Test scores matter. I know that a lot of schools went test optional in the pandemic. That's basically by name only. It matters. You have to submit your test scores. It matters a lot. Sometimes 30 to 70% of the kids who get admitted have submitted test scores. So if our kids are not taking the PSAT and they're not practicing in 9th grade, 10th grade, all the data that this lovely teacher just shared about the mock exams is the same thing for the PSATs. Thank you.
mean, we can.
We know this is an academically strong school. When students mobilize, come out, say, we want to take more tests.
Yeah. And I'll finish with the presentation, but I'm really impressed by our students. I appreciate them raising up their voices when they have concerns. This is an open dialogue with teachers, as there's been a concern about instructional time that we are going to reflect on. The teachers have brought up, as well as even students, as well as our teachers and space utilization. So we'll discuss this further in the future. But again, I'm appreciate all the students coming forward to be able to share their words. I also want to make sure that we have accurate information being shared, because there was a lot of misinformation also being shared that I want to make sure is very clear. This is the start to a conversation with our teachers that I'm having next week. I started with some of our teachers and our coordinator one-on-one. I appreciate that this was mobilized very quickly, but that's why we're talking about a test that would take place in April now. So I think it's important that we engage multiple people in this, because there are schools across the United States that do things uniquely. I'm a big proponent and supporter of mocks. So my intent is not to get rid of mocks. So that is a misrepresentation of information. My intent is to reflect on how we do practices. And what does that look like for advanced placement mocks, IB mocks, because we lose 3.5 weeks of instruction. And so those are things that are important for us to address. So I wish the students stayed for just one moment longer, so I could have actually responded to some of their things. But happy to talk with any of them individually, as always. Ms. Kaler, I'm happy to come to your class and talk to the students that are here today. So. Got it. Not a problem, but again, I'm going to work with our teachers, because there are a variety and some of just an absolutely amazing teachers who we started the year even shorter than we do normally. There's a shorter run-up time to the exams. So we as an IB school, it is important for us to be balanced, to be reflective. And so these are things that we should be asking questions. It's a part of our profiles of our program. So I want us to make sure that we're doing that and not just shutting down conversations without fully investing in all options. I'm not saying that we don't do it the way we've been doing it, because it comes out to be the best way, but we have to open dialogue, because we can do better at this practice. 3.5 weeks of time, 10 days of losing gym space and losing our teachers, losing their spaces, at English teachers not having their students in the classrooms their entire time. These 3.5 weeks, you don't have your consistent full classes. This is not.
Hang on, though. This isn't, we can't have a back and forth conversation. No, but we can't go back and forth with public comments. But
So
we can't go back and forth with
So
public.
my intent is to engage our teachers in this process, engage our staff in this process, and we will reflect on it. Nothing is determined. I just need to make sure that we have reflection on what we can do. And again, I've already been working externally with some other groups and other leaders in the district for IB about potential options. And I will more than happy to share out what this looks like. But again, it is November, so we can prepare for something in April. And so we'll talk about this then, but this is an ongoing thing. And I think it is important that it does come up in our LSC meeting. I think it is important that it is brought up the day before an LSC meeting so that it can come forward. So this isn't the day after an LSC meeting. I'd rather have students speak and rather have people be energized about different conversations than us just having an after the fact thought. But I would like to finish the presentation.
Yeah, sorry. And
Absolutely. It's next Wednesday at 2:30.
Lauda Yepes had a public comment from online.
Oh,
okay. Sorry. Can you let her
yep,
in?
allowed.
Did we vote to allow her into the
We
meeting?
can't because we don't have an LC meeting.
Right.
She's commenting as a parent.
Hi,
No.
can you guys hear me?
Laura's public.
Yes, Lauda.
She's not on, she's
Okay.
not voted in as an LSC member right now. She's a parent and public comments.
And then you can as well after. We didn't know.
So if I can just state that I fully reiterate what the previous public comment was on the PSATs. So hello, my name is Laura Yepes and I'm a parent representative on the LPLSC. My son is a junior there at LP, and I was just made aware that PSAT is not being offered this year at LP. And I am very disappointed about that decision. I heard that this was a teacher's vote. Parents and students were not part of this conversation, so that disappoints me deeply. Similar to the mock exams, this is a preparation for a very big test in the spring. I understand that we're transitioning to ACTs. However, the PSAT really does provide an avenue for test preparation, time management, familiarity, which builds confidence, identifying weaknesses, getting some feedback, and reducing stress. Also, not to mention that not taking a PSAT removes eligibility from becoming a National Merit Scholar. And it just in general, I find it very just disappointing that parents were not made aware of this decision. I am a parent of other students at other CPS high schools. They all took the PSAT this fall. So it's beyond me and my understanding as to why LP did not offer something that other CPS high school students were given at their prospective schools. So a decision that I think was just poorly made, communication just not great at all on such a major decision.
Thanks, Laura.
Hi, I'm Margot Tucker. I'm a junior in the IB program, and I understand that this is an open dialogue and that this is the beginning to a conversation. But I just wanted to mention that there are many students at our school who have responsibilities outside of school, whether that's a job, taking care of siblings. Many people have responsibilities outside of school. I myself am lucky enough to be able to, I would be able to come in on a non-attended stay and take the mock exam. But I just do want to say that it's something to consider when having that dialogue, that a lot of people don't have that opportunity to take times out of their day to do this. So I think we should just consider that a lot of people have responsibilities that could get in the way of having mock exams on non-attended stays.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comments right now? Anyone online?
One more hand.
Jennifer?
Talking is permitted.
You're all set, Jennifer. I think.
I'm requesting
All
talking
right.
is permitted. You should be able to, I see your hand up. You should be able to unmute. There you go.
I am on it. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So I've been a teacher at Lincoln Park for 16 years, and I've taught AP classes for maybe 10 of those 16 years, maybe more. I've lost track. But I know this is a conversation that's just getting started, but I just want to reiterate, one, to all the parents talking about the PSAT. That was a teacher vote. I can almost guarantee you any of the teachers that are here presenting and talking about the mocks needing to be given also supported a PSAT. We really believe in students having the practice. It's really important. And so I think maybe many teachers, if you asked them, voted no on it because of just kind of the debacle of past administering of the PSAT and just the handling of some of it. So I will just put that out there that yes, it was a teacher vote. I did not know that parents did not know about that and were not informed. So I'm sorry to hear about that. In terms of the mock, and I know if this is going to be an ongoing discussion, I know that this is something that a mock has to be given in its full duration for it to actually be useful. And so I just, as we go forward with this conversation, talking about space in the school, I know some teachers, some departments are upset that their spaces are being used for the school. But yes, we do have to come up with creative solutions, because if a mock isn't given in its full duration, then there's really no point to giving it, because it just shows the students the endurance they have to have, the pacing they have to have, and it gives them a real life experience of what they are about to go into. So just like the PSAT, I'm just a big advocate of teaching many AP classes over the years at Lincoln Park, that we definitely, this is a discussion where we have to keep the mock exam. It's very beneficial to students. And it really, if we're talking about social emotional
Jennifer,
learning.
time,
stress.
sorry.
Okay,
Time.
thanks.
Thank you, thank you.
Thanks.
Any other public comments?
I don't see any. Finish the presentation.
Okay.
I'll just double check, just make sure. I don't see anybody. Well, let's finish. All righty. So going back into, as we've been focusing on our AP exam rates, and then just again, the increased amount of students we have to be able to take the AP exam. I think you're still alive.
Thank you all.
All right, let me get back up.
Thank you.
Everybody else good? Perfect. Again, this is just really exceptional work of seeing the increase in the AP exam network school rates, just kind of seeing where we're seeing improvement. You can also see comparatively to other schools in our network that we are definitely striving well and above and beyond that work of other schools and be able to access it and increasing it over an extended period of time. And so I'm just really proud of this type of work. Areas for us to be able to focus on now. PSAT isn't an area that we're going to have anymore because we do not have it. And then hearing some of the comments that we heard in public participation of, finding a balanced approach to making sure our students have access to exams. Obviously, they're going to prepare them, but we are going to shift into the ACT. So how are we then looking at data and information or assessments that help inform our instructional practices and planning? You see across the board here that with our PSAT, the one-year change, we still have our English language learners, our DL students. We actually have seen growth for our Black students, our Black female and male students. We've seen increased amount of growth actually with some of our students finding success on the PSAT. As we look in how we compare, we are flatlining, and that is something that I need us to think about as a school. We are flatlining with some of this data. This is exceptional. It's above and beyond the district. Again, we include selective enrollment schools in this data, but we're at 69, 69, 72. It's like that for 10 years, 8 years. Oh, yeah, 10 years, but like 7, 8 years. So we are at this. So we have to start thinking, how do we challenge what we're doing to improve practice? Yeah.
You say selective enrollment schools, they're in network 14? All of them?
No, some of them.
Which
we have
one?
Lane.
Okay.
Lane, but we have a couple. So
Yeah, I'd just be curious because selective enrollment is a broad term. And if
so
we're
they're across-
talking
every
about,
network has selective enrollment. So
right, but which ones are which ones
We are-
is in our network?
Lane is our major. Yeah.
Who else?
Lane and Northside. Lane and Northside are the two in ours. But again, the challenge is how do we then individualize the opportunities for students to grow in the PSAT, ACT, whatever national assessment we're looking at. You can see the breakdown of our different groups across the board when it comes to the SAT, because the SAT is not good enough. Across the board, we've seen a drop. Now, the SAT that we're looking at, these would be our current seniors. Trends, and again, I'm not going to get totally into the root cause of all these kind of things of why we're seeing these dips, but something we have to be consistently think about is, I know COVID was a while ago, but the certain skills that our students were learning in third grade, I'm worried about our second and third graders during the COVID year, because they are coming, because they are learning and have access in kindergarten level instruction. So how do we adjust and adapt to our incoming students? Not to insult our ninth graders, and that's not my intent, but some of our ninth graders are exhibiting some of the executive functioning and social skills that you would see in SIP. And so how are we adjusting to that as well? That's real. But here's the good part, regardless of where this is at, we are able to help our students through that journey through college enrollment, college persistence, finding the right. So we still have to find students where they are at no matter what. This we have to think about, and that's why you see with our priority 1 curriculum instruction, we are thinking about what are the skills, what are the objectives, what is it that we are actually teaching. Again, you see that kind of flatlining in the 60s. Now there's a lot wider range here of 60s to 70s across the board. And these are things for us to dig into. So this is what I want. We are going to look at this. This is not good enough, but we can be better. I'm really impressed with our freshmen on track. Again, graduation rate is the result of freshmen on track. if they're off track freshman year, and we've had an atrocious freshman on track throughout the time in which it's been documented. I'm talking about since 2012, we have not had a freshman on track rate that has been exemplary or on par with the rest of the network. We are making those strides. And then this is the work of our teachers and our freshman team supporting each individual student. Now, what you see is we have Latinx and our Latino male and female students. And we had a high number of students coming in and reflecting on what is. Now, there's some data points we're going to try to tease out, but this is where we do see our students with disabilities finding a lot of success, where we do see our Black male students finding a lot of success. And the work that our teacher teams and administration are doing to support students instructionally will help change this moving forward. I also really want to celebrate from a teacher standpoint how much work they put in, but I also want to elevate the work of Ms. Theus. You know, last year there was a point where it was just the two of us as the administrative team. Okay, the administrative team. Still, I know that Ms. Theus extended the work that she was doing, not with the juniors and seniors, but worked with some of our freshmen to make sure that they would cross the finish line and be successful. So I just want to personally thank you, Ms. Theus, for partnering in that work, but also partnering with our teachers. Also, the great work of Ms. Terzian, our interventionist, who did a lot of work with our students. And that just shows the impact of having one interventionist in the school like Ms. Terzian to do that work. So a huge shout out to what she did to help her cohort of students be on track. And so these are the things we have to think about as an LSC is how do we create these supports moving forward as we get to our budget in the spring? How do we make sure we have these resources that everybody needs? Again, compared to the network, it's not meeting my expectation. And that's okay. We're going to have to make that a targeted plan of what we're doing. And I know the attendance team is working on plans and our freshman group are also working on plans. That is the overall presentation. I know it was kind of disjointed and we aren't meeting, but I still wanted to felt it was important to share those data points as we continue to move forward. And we'll share out more on those CIW priorities throughout.
Just to be clear, we can conduct a meeting. We cannot have a vote on anything. So all committees can present out. We just can't vote on it. So. What'd you say? Vote or move money. Right. So if we would need to do that, we would need to have an emergency vote. Okay, so we did. Do you want to, are you doing budget? Oh, Laura's here.
Yeah.
Well, we can, I guess
do it.
she can present on it.
Yeah, why not? I don't.
Is she still?
I'll make it very brief. So
do you have the
I have the slides. I'll show it to you. We did have our budget subcommittee. Let me actually bring up the slides because I was not prepared.
Is she on?
I don't see her anymore.
Bummer.
But I'll show you the tracker and kind of go through it. And it's there's not a lot to actually vote on.
Next meeting.
Nothing that can't wait till. So most of it actually doesn't require a vote. So you see everything here in blue. These are the majority of dollars. We discussed it as a budget subcommittee. We went over that amount. The overall theme is resources for departments, making sure that we have access to those resources. Some of these we've actually already approved, but the budget line it went into changed. So we just presented it out. So it's in the future, I talked to Ms. Lopez of making them green. So you kind of knew the difference. But sometimes when you start putting it in and you're actually doing the process, it needed to go to a different account line. So you'll see like some of the things we've already approved will show up here. It's just because she wanted to be transparent in the different line it was going to. None of it requires a vote. The only thing that we were getting to, you can see if we started doing it here, like with this green line, we're going to table the we're going to discuss the office spaces next time. It is a financial obligation. We did talk about the pros and cons of it. There are concerns about the permanence of it. That's kind of a major pushback. I can't find that. I can't find that term, but we need to make sure we do have office spaces for our teachers and staff. We will have to next year. We have an ELPT who needs to have a private space, as we need to use the classroom that she's currently using next year back at the stage as a class. So there are things that have to happen, and our teachers and staff have to have appropriate spaces. It's also a hot. It's not organized. All our teachers have department working spaces. Some could be better than others. We have a teacher's lounge that's been redone in the main office, friends of that's helped us put new chairs and things in it. So again, I want to make sure that the need is met, but also make sure that we have adequate office spaces for our staff. We are looking and exploring, I know Ms. Yepes, she's not on, but she's exploring additional funding for it. My biggest concern is funding at this point. And can we be patient? This is something that later in the year, what I'll probably eventually move forward is have it approved, but maybe hold off to actually doing the project until April and May to ensure we have funds for all the departments that they need in the classroom, because that's my number one priority. That's really it. There's nothing else to approve. I don't think there's.
It says there's is there fundraising? Is there any fundraising?
Let me look real quick.
Not that we can vote on it, but
Selling JRTC, selling candy for Christmas. Or sending candy gram, sorry, for Christmas. We will have to have.
1, 2, 3. Don't worry.
You know what, just for the heck of it, I say we put a vote, and if it's not, we don't have a quorum officially, I'll follow up with the district. And if the district says 7 doesn't count, then
Your vote doesn't count.
to make quorum. Students and principal don't, according to the updated LSC there. So I say, how about this? How about we still have a vote? If they say it has to be 8, then we have to do it again. Sound fair? So I move we approve the fundraiser.
Second.
All in favor?
Cool. It may not work. Might as well try. You're in. Thanks. All right. That's it. Now that would be,
Darius, I have a question. With the kind of overall fundraisers we approved at the beginning for athletics. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. For athletics and clubs, does that apply for JROTC too? So at the in the initial LSC meetings in August, we approved a blanket fundraiser for athletics and activities. Is JROT, and so is JROTC included in that as well?
It is, but they're sending something. They're doing something specific, right? They're doing a candygram, so it's not. They can collect donations. They can sell. I mean, they can sell like spirit wear, and then they can pay for their own uniform. This is they're selling something specific. And so it's not, it isn't spirit wear. So it's a different type of fun. So when basketball, for example, last year did popcorn, it was outside those 3 things because they were selling popcorn as a fundraiser. So if it's outside those 2 things, it's
okay, so then I know we have this midday madness thing going on tomorrow for the basketball teams, and there is going to be a fundraiser event. Does that need LSC approval, or is that
what was the fundraising with it?
Concessions.
I think we've already approved.
I believe so. I believe concessions.
There's some individual, like ticket sales have been approved. I believe concessions have already been approved. So some of that has already been done across.
Perfect. Okay.
Thank you. That's good. But that's all we've got at this point.
Okay, so you're going to get confirmation. If we can't do it, we need to hold an emergency meeting in person to be able to vote on that. Okay.
Groovy.
Friends of Lincoln Park. Is anybody on for that?
Should I?
Oh, hi. Welcome. Great. Thanks for being here. I have a pair if you need them.
Okay, I might come and grab it.
Old lady glasses?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. My name is Jody Bautel. I'm the Vice President of Friends of Lincoln Park. Happy to be here. So I kind of have some of you who were in the fundraising meeting the other night. This will be a little bit duplicative, but not too much, hopefully. Right now, we currently have $21,000 cash in our account with a $40,000 in a CD. We believe 6K of that is funds that are directed directly to certain clubs that have asked us to sort of start a campaign for them and hold the money because they're not their own 501c3, so we can help them with that. And then we have about 5,000 admin costs annually. So some of that cash is spoken for. Some of the projects that we are looking at for this school year, and this is a collaboration from things Dr. Steinmiller have told us that teachers have reached out, students reached out via teachers. So school-wide improvements, looking at finishing up the smart boards. Do we know how many more we need of those?
It's like 5 or 7. It's not, it is in single digits.
Okay, great. We're
For all
looking
90
at,
rooms.
yeah, huh?
We have like 90. plus
That's
classrooms.
amazing. We're waiting to get a paint budget, I think. We know someone that can give a discount from Sherwin-Williams, so we're waiting to hear about the paint. Library furniture. We have that on our list, and someone must have given us that. Athletics, ice machine, scoreboard, helping contribute to that. Repaint the gym, which I think that's part of a bigger discussion. Performing arts, Mr. Frelick wants to take the drum team to the Illinois State trip. A choir field trip coming up, iPads for the visual arts and accessories, doing staff support again. So getting ready for the teacher parties, the welcome back staff breakfast, annual staff holiday party, and teacher appreciation week. Things we're looking at for the next school year, 25-26, would be the American Society for Biochemistry, Molecular Biology, which I think used to be called like model protein, right, Mr. KB? So the clubs, this is the big focus for us kind of this year, is that we all heard about the cuts to the clubs. The clubs are the biggest part of what's coming to us for fundraising asks. We have drama, Model UN, the majorettes, and robotics. We're trying to get a process in place. So and having Denise here is going to be amazing, but we're trying to get everyone to give us a little write-up of what it is. So how many students does it affect? Is there any other, or how many students are included? Are there any other fundraising sources? Where are you going? Just a little blurb so we can, one, have it to make sure we're not just giving money out to not knowing what we're doing, but also we can come back and keep that for future reports to say, here's what Friends of has done. We've helped with this. And we really should promote that school-wide and community-wide so everyone knows what we're out there doing. Events coming up, we helped out at the open house for prospective students, provided volunteers, we did merch sales, about $700, but I think it was great to have it there because other schools do it during their open houses, and it kind of gives that community feel that we're sort of going for at Lincoln Park. Trivia night was well attended, 51 people. That kicked off our annual giving campaign, which is what used to be called the pledge drive. So we've kind of, there's no pledges really to it. So now it's just called a giving campaign because we just really want people to give money. Spring Gala is coming up in April. That will be our big one event that Friends of does, where we will have a lot of silent auction, maybe a live auction. It's a sort of a gala, lower key gala, but that will be a big donation thing. Last year we raised maybe $30,000, I think. We have a Raise Right campaign going, which is the simplest fundraiser you can think of. It's literally, if you buy gift cards around the holidays, we get a percentage of the sales. It's a third-party company. We don't have any lift of it. It's just something really any club could do, but that's just an ongoing thing. Annual campaign, which again used to be the pledge drive. We're celebrating the 150 years of Lincoln Park. Such a great presentation by the student that brought that to us. It's running October 23rd through December 17th, possibly longer. We've raised about 14,000 so far. Our goal is 150,000. Last year, the pledge drive did 64,000, including one family that did a $20,000 donation. We're working on reaching back out to them, hoping they will do it once again this year. So far, we've had 50 donors. So we're really trying to ramp that up. Key donation days are going to be December 3rd, which is Giving Tuesday. Nationally, that's the give, you shop Thanksgiving and then you donate afterwards. February 11th, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe is the 150 day of school. So we'll be doing a big campaign push around there. So like I said, we're trying to put process around this. So what we're tracking, how many students this is what we might need from maybe Dr. Steinmiller. How many students are in each program, visual arts, drama, music, the number of performances they do. So basically we want to capture as much information about what's going on at the school, both for fundraising and to report out to the community and prospective students to say, we have a drama program. What does that mean? It means we put on 2 plays a year. It means there's a tech group, like starting to really market ourselves as to why we're such a great school. We are also looking at sending out grade level targeted emails for giving. I don't know if we can, we have in constant contact, but are we allowed to, like, Jody Bautel is a sophomore parent. Can I email sophomore parents and say, I'm a fellow sophomore parent. There's the annual giving campaign going on. I'm happy to give. Hope you join us. Are we allowed to do that?
As long as as long as it's coming like through us putting it out. So it's not like we're giving away the contact information.
So it needs to come from you guys. It couldn't just come from me.
I mean, it probably could come from Friends of, just as long
Okay.
as we're not giving you a district.
Yeah. I think we have it. somehow.
Yeah, we can talk. About that. So
Okay.
we'll part-
Okay, perfect. Let's see. Oh, we're really going to be going after kind of some VIP larger donors. So people we know that have come from schools where they've just been paying tuition, people within the community that could certainly afford to give to their local school and would be interested in seeing this be a great school as well. We've been joining Denise in the group in the fundraising calls and meetings because we want to make sure with the boosters and everybody else, we're not all going after the same pot and competing, but rather working together as a collaboration of how to get funding to every group that really needs it at the school. So we're very excited to be doing that. We also are going to start reaching out with community stuff. So the Alderman, the Chamber of Commerce, feeder schools, they all host and post newsletters digitally in their place of office. We want to make sure Lincoln Park is always included in that. We have this woman, Nicole Steves, who's come on board as kind of our, not public relations, but our communications, is doing a great job getting this out, putting in a lot of hours. So this will be really exciting. We also want you guys to know, so we have graphic design. We have a whole list of people if you guys want to be able to reach out to. So the website is Eva Ho, social media is Jackie Gelb, Nicole does the communication. So if you guys ever need us to put something out, we have like literally a list of who will do it. So please reach out and let us know because we're really trying to make sure everyone's got their lane and that they, we're helping the whole process as much as we can. That is pretty much what we're working on. It is probably 100 emails a day, I would say, going back and forth on Friends of. It is extremely active right now as we lean into the fundraising campaign. Tracy Lazos, who's a fellow parent, has, I think, taken this on as her life's mission to raise the most money possible. So just know we're really, we're in a very active strive right now. So we welcome any feedback, ideas, anything.
Thank you so much.
I don't know if you guys have any questions. I'm happy to.
Question. When you talked about renting like a scoreboard in the main gym and painting the gym, is that something that you could work in collaboration with the athletic boosters on?
So yeah, it will probably be coming from Denise as well. Like, what we're trying to do as Friends of is sort of academic clubs, things other than the sports teams. But obviously it's going to be hard for boosters to raise that kind of money. So we want to help out with that stuff. The painting of the gym, that's one thing. I don't know if that's like union painting or how that goes, but
we have actually a quote. It's $29,000
to paint the gym.
For the paint or for?
to have it done because of the lifts and everything that's needed. To paint the
Okay.
walls. It's $29,000.
And we can't volunteer that, right? Because of obviously the lifts
height,
and stuff.
yeah.
Okay.
And even our engineers can't because of the height.
Do we have an estimate on the scoreboard yet? Do we know how much that is?
For a scoreboard, we can do advertisements and it will last us for an extended period of time. $80,000.
How much? 80
for a new school.
Okie doke.
I mean, as I see you taking notes there, the freshman gym scoreboard hasn't worked in about 2 decades.
So maybe two $80,000 scoreboards. Got it. Okay.
The one in the freshman gym, that doesn't have to be fancy.
Okay. Okay. So it's a smaller option. Okay. Great. See, this is very helpful to know this stuff so I can go report. Our Friends of meeting, which I would encourage everyone to attend, is next Tuesday night here in the same room at 6 p.m. Please feel free to.
Thank
Yeah.
you so
Any other
much. Sounds like you guys are really cohesive and.
Yeah, we got a couple of really active people, which makes it really easy. 'Cause
Yeah.
then it gets everybody. Because you guys know, I mean, so but yeah, let us know
That's
if we have any
great.
other questions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And with Friends of, Miss Morris has been, Morris's position. She's been active in like 2 weeks about, and we'll be also working to be a liaison with the Friends of, but also with our athletic boosters, so that when teachers or staff or anybody do have requests towards moving towards fundraising practices, that she will be a point person. This will also, I know that Friends of, they're working on what that looks like for requests and managing and balancing those, but Ms. Morris will help navigate that. And also thinking about alternative resources if available. She's really done an exceptional job in 2 weeks. I'm already jumping right in. I'm already starting to build some consistency to the direction of some of our fundraising practices, along with that communication that just keeps increasing. So I just really wanted to appreciate her work, and the duo between work that I'm seeing with Ms. Morris and Ms. Wheeler has been really great. So she'll be working with Friends of specifically.
We're so glad you're here. Thank you. Finally. Okay. I know you did the state of the school. We didn't really discuss much about
Some general
attendance,
updates.
cell phone.
Yes, general updates. Actually, what I'd just like to do is while the entire team is here, because obviously we have different topics coming up, but state of the school, I appreciate the entire admin team being present, being here. If y'all would just introduce yourself, and if there's something that you want to be able to share out as a point, feel free to do so. But I just wanted to introduce yourself. I don't know if everybody's had an opportunity to meet the amazing, you guys are just amazing. So opportunity to introduce yourselves. Of course, I put you on the
Don't
spot.
go all at once.
Good evening, everyone. I am Jillian Theus. I am one of the assistant principals here at LP. Have several different buckets of work. Two things that I oversee that are critical here to LP is athletics and attendance. And so I'll just speak briefly about attendance. Athletics is going great, boys. Football is doing wonderful. Swimming did an amazing job this year. Soccer did really, really great. I want to highlight swimming again because it was they had a bit of a rocky start, but they ended up going I don't remember which round, but they won their conference and then they went to state, and they did really, really well. I saw their placings about a week ago, and they placed in most events, like top 10 or top 12 for the city. So it was really, really exciting to see that. So shout out to Coach Slusher and the girls swim team. So, as you know, the increase in high school attendance percentages, I don't think Dr. Steinmiller has a slide for that. I know they just sent us, the district just sent us some slides this week about attendance for LP. And so it is increasing as it is right now, year to date from last year. So I pulled some stats for our attendance just to compare, just to see where we are like today, right now. And our year over year attendance average daily rate last year on November 14th, we were at 87.6%. And this year we are at 89, just right under 90%. And so that's it might not seem much, but that's 3 percentage points, and that's a really big deal. We really trying to put a lot of attendance metrics in place this year. We've changed the pattern of flow, so we had to work with the security team. We've changed the pattern of flow for classes, for off-campus lunch, kind of modified and restricted the doors that the kids can go out of so we can control it, so kids wouldn't just leave off campus for lunch and other classes. So that has been working really well. So we put in some stricter attendance policies. Dr. Steinmiller mentioned chronic absenteeism, so we're looking at that. When we look at our chronic absenteeism rate from last year, year to date, we were at 39% for whole school, and today we are at 32. So we are trending down in a positive direction. When we look at our subgroups are improving as well. The one area that we do see a slight uptick in is our ELL students. And we know there's many, many reasons once we start pulling back those layers why there's an uptick there. We're dealing with that. We added Ms. Sepulveda, who is our community liaison representative, to our attendance team. Part of her job description is attendance. So tier 1 attendance, we know is teachers. Tier 2, we include counselors in that. And then tier 3 is Ms. Sepulveda. Some of the things she's been doing this year is calling home to the homes that have 0 to 20% attendance rates. And then some of the ones that are actually 0 to 24, and then 25 through 74, she's emailing those parents. For those chronic students, we're also sending actual like snail mail letters home so they can get the letters to their houses, as well as the students and families that are still not responsive. we're doing home visits for them. So we're really beefing up our efforts to get these students back in school, to re-engage them, or to find them the best fit for them. If it's not LP, that's okay, but let's find you somewhere that you can be successful. And that's really helped out our attendance overall. Some other things that we found, some students have just transferred and they did not properly let us know that they were no longer at LP. And so they've been kind of sitting on our roster, draining our attendance. And so we've cleaned up some of those data metrics. We've also had kids that have moved back overseas. And when you go overseas, you don't necessarily have to let us know. And so now that we're finding those things out, we're cleaning that up in Aspen, and that is improving our attendance. So those are some of the things that we are working on this year and that we've really been focused on. We had a meeting yesterday with a full attendance team, some members from security, BHT, psychologists, and our interventionist was there as well. And on our next meeting, we're pulling in our athletic director just to make sure we are supporting all students, athletes, our just general student body, to make sure that they are here, that they are present, and they are supported in the best way possible. So it's trending up, it's looking good. We just want to hold the line and just make sure we're supporting students and kids the best way. And I thank you guys.
Good evening. Hi. I'm Angela Quadri, one of the newer APs here. My area of expertise is curriculum and instruction. So I work with the instructional leadership team, the INS department, the PE department, and the world language department, ROTC, and IB, and AP testing. And AP orders are due tomorrow. So I'm in the middle of ordering all the exams. We have ordered over 1,700 so far. More than last school year, and the deadline is tomorrow, so we're still ordering. That's me. Thank you.
Hey y'all, Miss Stonewall, one of my buckets of work is ninth grade on track. So working closely to make sure that our freshman students are on track to graduate in 4 years. And so some quick numbers are, we are currently at 88 students that are off track, which is about 15% of our freshman class. At Q1, we were at 10% off track. So 90% on track, which is actually like really good. And our goal for this year is around 89%. So when we finished last year, we were around 86%. And so the goal for the entire year is to be around 89. So knowing that we hit 90 at Q1 lets us know that it's attainable and possible. So we're really working towards that. Some of the things that we have in place are all of our students who are off track have been connected with and meeting with Dr. Terzian, who's our interventionist. Around 50 plus of them are in small groups to receive targeted interventions in either math or English. So if you ever come over to the freshman building, you'll see small groups with Dr. Terzian working hard to really get at some of those areas that are needed with our students. We have 4 DePaul field observers who have been coming in throughout the quarter to give support and tutoring to 9th grade students as well. We will also be piloting a program called Amira, which helps with reading, writing, and syntax, and will be really beneficial for our multilingual students, which is an area that we are needing support in here at Lincoln Park. All of our teachers are also receiving PD on MTSS strategies on a regular cadence. And so half of our departments received that PD today, which is their second round. And so that will continue to happen throughout the year. Also, tutoring is being offered Monday through Thursday. We just started on this Monday in the freshman building cafeteria for students that are off track. And so that email went out to students and parents, letting them know that like, hey, we've seen this need for your student. And that is being led by each one of the assistant principals, as well as our youth intervention specialist, Ms. Shotwell. So from 3:45 to 4:45 in the freshman building cafeteria, students can come receive support in algebra specifically, and be tutored by one of our BSU students who have volunteered their time to help out students, which we've seen to be really beneficial because it's that peer-to-peer interaction and upperclassmen giving back to the younger generation, which is really nice. It's also important to note that a percentage of our off-track data is being is accounting for many of our students who are technically upperclassmen, but are still being credit deficient. And so we're really targeting those students to see what we can do. So right now they're on a check-in, check-out system with 4 of our staff, as well as being problem solved around by our counselors, our culture and climate staff members, as well as our attendance team to really see like what that group of student needs in order to get them back on track. So working very hard for that data. And then, yeah, that's a big bucket. So we'll go with that.
Do you? Security. Do you want to do safety and security as long as you were already up there? And I don't know if where does cell phone policy fall?
Clarify that.
Okay.
Anyways, I'll do it. Oh, and also clarifying, you said BSU, please clarify what BSU
Yeah.
stands for.
Oh, Black Student Union, it's led by Ms. Savage. Very cool collaboration. Safety and security. So we are currently fully staffed at 12 security. We would like more, but we are currently fully staffed with 12. On any given day, that number can change depending on who's present. And so it makes meeting the needs of the building that much more of a puzzle, but we do it. And we have a great team. Again, Ms. Theus pointed out the traffic pattern. We're noticing that one of the things that have become difficult is just that lunch transition and really crossing over through the pattern that we keep concise. And so we've been brainstorming around how to support that, as well as how to support some of the hotspots that are developing throughout the school year. So once we know about it, we do our best to address it with the manpower that we have, but that's where we are with security. I don't know, is there a specific question or let me go with that? Also, we're hiring for our freshman building lunchroom support. So that was brought up. And so myself and Ms. Theus will be doing interviews, I want to say next week, starting next week. Yeah. So hopefully that position will be hired for soon.
Thank you.
For the cell phone policy, the cell phone policy is still in place. Mr. G, talked to Mr. Gombieski about doing another set of rounds. Again, seeing what the pacing of that's going by, what that looks like, make sure those practices are still in place, but also to re-up it. You know, just making sure that it's not faltering. I mean, when I go into rooms, I am seeing consistently the cell phones are in the pockets. I am aware of just a handful of situations with individual teachers or with substitutes in which there have been breakdowns, trying to address the ones with our individual teachers, but also set those expectations for subs. But Mr. G is going to do a whole nother round and then emphasize the importance of it to make sure that we keep that moving forward. But overall, just that it's successful at this point, and teachers even come to me of just about a unique situation in which they were going to do something, but could they use their phone in a blank situation? And I asked, what does that look like? How does it align with curriculum? What are the resources for it? So in a very specific instance, we talked about alternative options, but also having at one point specifically pockets. So there are some questions like that which teachers are asking, can we use it as a tool or something specific and get back to our policy and expectations? So again, that's not to be, we're not breaking down, but there are instances teachers have a specific academic use for it that I want to, maybe we should take into consideration. That looks like a stop line. It hasn't been implemented yet. That's what teacher asked for it today. But I know exactly what it looks like, and I appreciate it. Set up. So that's cell phone.
Great.
I do have athletics. Yeah.
So regarding the cell phone policy, I did talk to several teachers and some students, and everybody has great things to talk about it. So it's been a very positive thing from both teachers and students. So just some additional feedback.
Here. As for athletics, we have Ms. Wheeler, who's been in place for supporting athletics. We've also had support from some of our teachers who are doing some after school hours because with their type 75 is be able to open up the school on Saturdays. But Ms. Morris is here. Is there anything specifically you'd like to report out on athletics?
Hi.
I'll be helping.
Just make sure you speak in the mic.
As you
'cause
said,
it's for them.
yeah.
too.
AD Wheeler on athletics and then clubs. So Ms. Sepulveda and really figuring out how to enrich our students' lives. And I really look forward to working with the students on that. And then also fundraising across the board, FOL, boosters, and just, you know, increasing our impact within our communities. So super happy to be here finally. I think Ms. Theos already gave a little bit of an update on sports or on athletics, but I would say great fall season, right? We had 12 teams competing, 3 boys, 8 women, girls teams, and then 1 we consider football co-ed. So some great achievements, I would say, across the board. We had a really nice senior day for some of our fall athletes at Lane Tech. And Boosters is very busy from a fundraising perspective. So I'd say many teams have either fundraised or will be fundraising. Winter sports, we've got 9 teams either trying out or already formed. So from a coaching perspective, we, I think, are in really good shape. Assessments are happening right now, and then recruiting as we need as we look into the spring season. So I would say very busy from an athletics perspective and a lot of success to report. In terms of reporting more formally on this, I think Eric and I are going to partner on doing a little bit of a reporting, like a more formatted reporting, maybe starting next month. So more to come on that. And then clubs, much more to report on that going forward. I'm just a couple of weeks in, so pardon me for not having a ton of input yet, but I'm just super happy to be here and look forward to partnering with all of you even more formally. Yeah.
Glad you're on board.
Yeah, and just that Ms. Wheeler, Ms. Morris have had meetings with all of our fall sports, post meetings with coaches, also going into the winter, setting expectations around what this looks like. And this is a bit more of a formal structure that I think is very helpful to make sure that norm and expectation is consistent across the school. And then something else from yesterday.
Well, I would also say Ms. Wheeler is finalizing a handbook, which will be really important. So in terms of just, you know, compliance, but also interaction, we've got, I think every team has a dedicated booster rep now, at least one, to help with communication. We're going to be launching our Snap communication tool for our coaches so they can very easily communicate with their teams. So there's just a lot going on, and I look forward to, you know, giving you more updates. So yeah.
This is so great. And I mean, we've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting. I mean, finally we have like a team working on this. I think that's been kind of what we've needed.
And the boosters, you know, we like to call ourselves the team behind the teams, right? But I think me being here just every day, more formally and officially, just gives me, you know, gives us such much more of an impact. So I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. We're thrilled to have you. Okay, we did safety and security facilities.
We had a meeting on Monday, nothing formal. I was in there, the regular cycle of meetings. We have one more, I believe one more in the day. Is that, we're at 7 and 9. 7. So we have 9 positions, 7 are staff, 2 are on leave. Again, when it comes to just what Ms. Hurd has been doing to support our school and keep things moving forward, updated the QR codes for requests for any custodial needs. There's a breakdown, it maxed out, reset it, we're now good to go. I think they've been redistributed throughout the building and everywhere, so we have updated there. Same thing with facilities. I don't know. Would you mind checking what that is?
There's a play.
Play. Very excited play.
I thought it was a stop.
Yeah, I don't know. But from a yeah, I don't know. Facility standpoint of other things coming up, we're waiting to finally get like the be able to buzz in on the back door over here, the gates there. There's some of the things with just kind of our spaces, which actually will help with some of our transitioning work moving forward. We do have some additional bike racks coming in at some point. We're working with the city on what that looks, because we're maxing out our spaces. And so many kids are riding bikes, so we'll probably get some other like spaces with it. I think I can't remember the last time our mural has been installed, which is really great. The artist Centrock. It's really great. He came out and just did an awesome job. I can't tell you how many communication from alumni who've been reaching out, excited that we have such a representation of piece of work here at Lincoln Park. So that's been really fantastic. He's currently now working at a museum in Mexico. And so he was just presented he was just a major focus at the Museum of Contemporary Art here in Chicago. So it's neat to have an artist of that caliber representing it right in the middle of our mall where students get to walk in every day. So it's absolutely awesome. We have a really cool amazing engineering team. I actually got a video today. I just feel like sharing this part, but I just got a video today of finally getting the for our pool. There's like a pump thing that just hasn't worked for 27 years, and he's finally got it to work. And I have a video of him like yelping in excitement that he was able to piece this thing and finally get stuff working right. That kind of person and that kind of team is that's what it's about, right? And just really excited about being a Lion extends like it's our entire school, from our engineers, custodians, our cafeteria team working their butts off. So we're moving a lot of good things forward. But as you heard from friends, we were working on some of a painting schedule and different things. If you go into the bathrooms on these floors, there are new dividers, new paint. The paint on the wall is also kind of anti-graffiti, kind of has a certain kind of texture to it that it's easy to clean and wipe up. And we have in just a minute, bud. We also have it when in a painting schedule, you have set paints, but conversation I've had with some LSC members and other people is like, let's reflect on like what the hall paints look like. Definitely no gloom and gloom kind of like painting and puke green. Yeah, but for the most part, we're just seeing a really proactive moving forward. I think that's pretty much kind of our big, but we do our ticket list. We still are waiting to hear back on the $1 million grant for the auditorium. Following up on that too. But yeah, good stuff.
One thing.
Yeah.
The QR codes, they are definitely very helpful, but not as much anymore with the cell phone policy because students don't have their phones with them a lot of the time.
That's a really good point. I didn't think about that.
So, and like, even like if you're like in the bathroom, like during class, you don't really have the time during passing period to go back and scan it.
Thank you. It's a good point. Thank you. We'll reflect on that. That's a good point. Good point. Got it. So the cell phone policy is working.
And on that note, the graffiti thing that you brought up, I had that policies, and I'm a little miffed. I'm not upset, but I'm very disappointed that probably objecting to it. Make the wall wide, say, for example, the bathroom that's adjacent to us, adjacent to our meeting room. I wanted to keep it on hold until the NHS members got back in session, and we would have one of our service hours be to get all the acetone and the goof off, and then just return the bathroom back the way it was in 2021 before the class of 25, our guys, before we enrolled.
Yeah, well, you know what? There's plenty of bathrooms that we can reflect. These are just a set number of them. The colors that we are using in it were actually voted on by the students last year. That's the color for the bathroom.
Why didn't I hear about this?
Because you weren't on the LSC at that time. So it was actually our LSC members helped identify
The previous Congress?
Yep.
Oh,
Previous Congress. Yeah, so you can focus on them. But yeah, so they were part of it, but I'm happy to work with you and the NHS to make sure the other bathrooms are addressed appropriately.
Well, it's too late now. We can't possibly get rid of the white paint and turn it back the way it was in 2021, if not to screw over the workers who wasted an hour of their life. Well, actually not wasted, but spent. It would be wasted if we got rid of it. But the ones that we haven't done yet and still are and still have their old stalls, let's have the NHS do that. It'll be less work for us, but hey, you know what? Maybe some ethical concerns could be addressed. That's why my campaign policies. But my campaign promise is slightly adjusted for reality. But look, I want to get stuff done. Okay, I still want to get stuff done.
George, I so appreciate you holding steady to your, if only more politicians were like that, right? Holding steady to their campaign promises. Thank you.
First thing I'll do is find everything I can do to fulfill everything I promise and then do nothing more. I'm not having patience, like, why?
Right. Well, there's always the money that you're promised from all your lobbyists and everything. You could use that for vacation.
Yeah.
Do you want to give her the mic?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I think you already brought it up, but maybe I missed it. Was the camera update on the other side?
That's safety and security. I totally didn't think about that. Yeah, so we're having 90 new cameras installed throughout our building. It's about a 2-month process, 90 throughout the building. There's pros and cons that come with that. One of the pros will have the 90 cameras, be able to really see every part inside and out. The negatives, we have 2 hours of the construction. So there have been some hiccups in it where construction has been taking place within a room prior to a classroom. I appreciate the communication of that teacher, also Ms. Stonewall for addressing it right away, working with that team, and they've been able to, like the next day, they wiped everything down and were more conscientious of the time needed. But it created kind of just a disruption on that specific day. And obviously when you hear that during instruction, it's not the best thing, but it is a 2-month process. But we'll have those, and we'll also then have a hub, meaning we'll have like a room dedicated with multiple TVs to be able to see all of the cameras that we have and updated. So we'll have the good things, we'll be able to see really the full range of our school in one spaces. This is something we've been working towards for a while, just to make sure we have all the things secured. So that's happening right now.
All right. I have a policy to pitch. Okay, so I was using one of the bathrooms, and inside one of the stalls, I noticed somebody had already tagged on one of the bricks. It's happening. I want to stop. You know how to stop? I want to find out if we can have a tip line, like some kind of tip line that we can have in the main office. But are you
Maybe use the
laughing?
QR code.
I think that's awesome though, like a tip line where you call and like report.
Okay,
anything
don't
to
call.
us.
That would be a little too.
Text message.
That's a bit
but I-
overkill, but okay, that texting and calling, okay, a little overkill, but
Do we
okay,
want to, wait,
I'm a
George,
Google-
hang on one second. Do we want to move to student voice and student life as we're talking about this?
wait, yeah, but let me finish up, okay? All right, okay. I would like to have this thing I'd like to call the war on graffiti, where whenever there's graffiti in the bathroom, we find out who did it and hold them rightly accountable in order to keep LP a nicer looking place. Wait, where'd he go? Oh, he wasn't even, I thought he was here. Oh, okay. Everyone write that down. I would like to start a start a fight against the graffiti epidemic that plagues our toilets and or actually no, our stalls. Our stalls, that's more accurate. Our stalls. So that people can okay, you get the idea. I don't want to go long-winded.
Thanks, George. Okay, let's move to student voice and student life.
Spinning. Several fundraising campaigns to replace the lockers, as it's become very unsafe to like just hold our belongings in there. And we just wanted to know the individual unit price for each locker so we can begin to formulate our campaign. And then we were also wondering about updates on the progress of the farmer's fridge and the
Did you hear back about Farmer's Fridge? Oh, you did.
Yeah, we had we're able to connect. Yeah, met with Farmers Fridge. We're seeing about their vendor status. They themselves are not a vendor, but we're working to see if they have a sub group they could work with. We talked about what commissions would look like based on certain amount of purchases. And so I met with Ms. Lopez today and we're trying to get them in.
That's awesome.
So I appreciate that feedback and work from our students here. So making that happen. The second question was
What is it? Is there a chance that like what would prevent that from
they're
being?
not vendors. They're not vendors and can't have, like, don't have an MOU with the district to be able to stuff like put them in there with food. My only other concern would be if in that, I'm hoping there isn't, we're trying to do this as simple as possible. If there is already a vendor that's in there and they can come in through it, then we just do it. If they have to go through it their own unique step, it's just proving that it's, I don't know what it'd be. If there is any health risks to it. There should be, they're everywhere, but I really don't know what that thing would be. A second thing would be the lockers. And we are fully aware of just in the locker rooms, we don't have cameras. And also those lockers are, you can bend them back and open them and get into. We're encouraging people not to leave any valuables in there, but there has been just a rampant series of thefts. If a phone is left out in there or like money is left out or even, Lululemon jacket, like something like those things. Like, so we are meeting as a senior leadership team, just kind of brainstorm just additional things we can do now. Security is regularly going in. We're trying to see anybody who's not supposed to be there. I mean, it's just security's been doing a really hard job of like pushing in. I hear it on the walkie-talkie of pushing into it. Our wellness teachers are setting expectations and monitoring it, but we have some people who are just they're figuring it out. And it's not okay. So we're working through some other solutions, but one of your points, the lockers in the hallway are secure and secure. The ones in the locker room are the old mesh metal stuff. You don't have to be like Hercules, bend them and get into them. So I do hear your point. We can work with facilities on the potential, like what that would look like for more secure type of lockers in that, even if they're smaller kind of things that are just lockable. Those aren't lockable, and we need to be very clear to everybody. Nothing in there is secure. It can't. But I appreciate those efforts, and we can work with our engineer on seeing what quotes would look like for more secure locker spaces. Go from there. Was there one more thing?
Hello. I oversee NHS. If there's a teacher that would like to take it over, though, there is a stipend and we would be greatly appreciative of that. But the faculty council and I met about 3 weeks ago to set the guidelines for NHS for this year. We pulled grade reports from dashboard for students that are eligible for NHS for this coming year. So it will be juniors and seniors only with a GPA of 3.6. Emails were supposed to go out, but I've just been super busy. I actually finalized everything last night. So emails will go out Monday to families and students who are eligible. And the application will be due right before Christmas. So they'll have the rest of the semester to get their applications in for NHS. Unweighted 3.6. Yes. So that was what the faculty council came up with as a GPA, just to make sure it is attainable for students that are in IB, but students that are also not in IB as well. Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else?
It's like some data. We counted the amount of lockers. Back on that real quick. It was, I think we counted 72 for the boy. Kind of lockers we have, just if they lock. He's creating an official Instagram account just to try to sort of gain
Thank you. PPLC. We don't have PPC.
We have a people meeting tomorrow, but we're just gonna report on sort of a separate group. If PPLC makes sense, as it's aligned with LSC.
Right.
It's part of the union.
All right, guys. I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. Girls basketball season started. I've been yelling a lot. In our PPLC meeting, one of the teachers came in to try to get the conversation started about an AI policy surrounding like IB and AP and all that stuff. So we're getting the ball rolling with that, and hopefully the goal is to have a place or an AI policy in place for second semester. So those conversations have been started. So that was one thing we talked about. There's another teacher that brought up the Council on International Education Exchange, which is a study abroad program for students that are trying to learn another language. And so just as a little promotion there because they wanted to get that out there. Also, programming came up, just trying to talk about different benchmarks throughout the school year, just to make sure that when SY 25-26 starts, we're good to go and we don't have the consistent class changes or student switching classes that we had this year. And so we're looking up at solutions for that so we could present to Dr. Steinmiller. Already, I know Dr. Steinmiller touched on the partitions that would be in what is the teacher's lounge room. The PPLC recommended to hold off on that, to look at other spaces within the building that could possibly be utilized for either a teacher's lounge or a space for the new faculty members. So that conversation has been tabled until a later time. And then finally, we were trying to invite the BHT team in, just the effectiveness on some of the new policies, like what is anecdotally the phone policy seems to be working, but what is the data behind that that supports the phone policy, or the new routes that students take to class, like how is that affecting the attendance policies? Like anecdotally, it seems, I think you said 89%, or was right? Or 92.5, but how are these policies being measured, and what is the progress of those throughout the year? So those are some of the topics that we talked about in our PPLC.
You were saying
Yes, sir.
GPT and stuff for students.
Exactly.
Good. Every school should probably have Chat GPT banned, no exceptions, because they're taking students' jobs as studiers.
Well, I don't know if it should be banned, but if you use it as a tool to help formulate your thoughts and opinions, and then you take those ideas.
GPT. I don't think anyone else should either. And I get that my struggle against AI is one that's a uphill battle with an undefined slope, but I don't care.
Thanks. Thanks, George. No, go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
There was like a whole discussion about it last year. I remember specifically, there was a really big debate on AI with IB, and there was this whole thing where IB like approved it for like academic use, like honest academic use, not writing their essays for them, but helping like organize and formulate thoughts. So like, are there like specific rules that like guidelines, or like how does that work around it?
Yeah, so we did look at the IB guidelines on academic integrity, and IB did publish guidelines on artificial intelligence. are on AI. And so we have to integrate that with our IB programs, but also with our AP classes and all that too. So we kind of have to have a mesh of both where we're keeping the integrity of IB, but also meeting the academic integrity of other courses as well.
Right. Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Community relations.
Yes, for community relations, we're having Paul Kendrick. We're having a meeting on Tuesday at 3:30. So I've sent that in to be having the meeting posted, the notice, and anyone is welcome to join. With the open house, I publicized that with Facebook groups in the neighborhood, sent to the alderman's office, and to the neighborhood feeder school LSC members to ask to be included in the newsletter. So hopefully it helped. I certainly heard it was an outstanding event. So kudos to everyone's hard work on that. What a great representation of LP. And hopefully our committee helped drive a few people there. So look forward to anyone's ideas and thoughts at our Tuesday meeting. Thank you.
Are some of the people that I connected you with, are they going to be at that meeting?
Yep.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Great.
I do want to comment on like the open house. Like the open house was really good. I didn't get to see the full effect of it, but just in the athletics wing and the small gym. I'll just speak on my own for girls basketball. We had 18 girls, in 7th and 8th grade that came that expressed interest in our program. So that was very helpful. So
Wait, sorry. We can only take public comments during public comments, or unless you, no, that's okay. You could,
yeah.
we'll do, I think we did not do celebrations, so we can revisit that when we're done with the committee reports.
So I think again, I think open house was successful, and selfishly for girls basketball, it went really well.
Peter, if you can hear me, text me if we have any update on principal evaluation. I don't know if anybody has stepped up to maybe chair that committee. I know we were looking for people, so if anybody wants to do it, it's a pretty heavy lift, but we probably need to start thinking about it like within the next month or two, because otherwise we end up scrambling at the end and it's stressful and not fun for anybody. So if anybody wants to head up the principal evaluation committee, please reach out to Peter. He's done that before, so he has a good system in place. Okay, let's do celebrations. Is that okay? Backwards in the agenda.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do some celebrations, and I would like to, as a part of any members of the Lincoln Park team who would like to contribute to those celebrations as an extension of the principal, I would appreciate your interjecting at any possibility. But actually, open house was awesome. So over 1,700 families came. I really appreciate the work of our parents in organizing it. Ms. Theus was the point on that. Did a great job of just creating a positive experience for all of our families coming in. When you have students living in our attendance area, just basically going, this isn't a hard choice. That's a great kind of statement. And then when you hear families that don't live in our attendance area go, this is our number one choice. But those are great. They're great feelings, great experiences. And it really kind of had some new things to it, as Mr. Willis kind of referenced, especially from a really robust kind of response to athletics and club presence, but also the showcases. It was just it was cool and unique, new. Yeah, it had some new flavor to it, and it did what it did a very positive.
Awesome.
Shout out.
I'm not from open house, but from celebrations. I don't know, like Miss Heard, I see her at 24/7. I don't know like where she's at. I understand she might sleep here, honestly, but I don't think you get celebrated enough because the amount of work that you do is truly second to none. I mean, if there's an event in the I teach in the freshman gym. If there's an event in the freshman gym and there's tables set up, like you're the first one there to take them down. So I don't think you can celebrate it enough.
I second that.
Okay.
Only the first over the past weekend. Student. Like so and orchestra and choir and move like
Thank you.
Of
Great.
course. Do you have anything? I know you, as an extension of the principal, I know you're about to celebrate some things.
At least
I was part of the planning committee for open house and I was manning the clubs and athletics section, but I did want to just say a shout out to Miss Theus for, everything she did to help us coordinate the awesome brochure and just everything that goes into that. It's a lot of work. And we had just a ton of, lists of prospective students. And I asked every coach to follow up and send an email to all of those students, which I think is just a really nice touch. So hopefully that'll, happen. And yeah, it was just great to see that room just filled with energy and diversity and candy and and everything else. So thank you as always. Yeah.
thank you.
I'd like to give a shout out. Thank you, Denise. Open house was definitely a labor of love. I have the awesome responsibility of being over a lot of the forward facing events of the school, and it's fun and it's wonderful. But the heart of what we do here is one, keeping your kids safe, and two, educating them. And so I want to shout out my colleagues, Ms. Quadri and Ms. Stonewall, for doing amazing job at keeping these kids safe every day, sending them home same way that y'all send them to us in one piece. And since they're here, they might as well get an education. So, shout out to Miss Quadri for really pushing our teachers and pushing these students and getting all these AP exams ordered, because that is a whole lot. And just doing all the things that make this school run. We don't always get it right. We have, hiccups, as you guys know, but they are here doing the work. We all are. And so I just want to shout them out. Because we see a lot of the things that I'm over and I do, and it's a whole lot of fun, but there's some things that sometimes we don't see that really, really make this school run and make it what it is and keep us being the premier neighborhood high school in CPS, the #1 neighborhood high school. And that does not happen just with me or just with Dr. Steinmiller, but with people like Angela Quadri and Fanique Stonewall. So thank you guys.
Alicia.
And just a shout out to the play that's going on right now and the auditorium. It's a great play. I recommend everybody go check it out. It's still showing tomorrow at 6 o'clock and right now. So they're doing a great job. Bunch of kids, awesome.
That's one of the things I'd love to see the community relations group do is I know Denise, you're on this, is really get a solid sense of what's going on at the school and push it out to the community to invite the community in. Cause I think there's a lot of people in our community, whether it's people with kids or people who are retired, who would be interested in what's happening here on a Thursday night. And, and then maybe we could partner with a restaurant and have like a deal where they go up to the show. There's so many opportunities. So it would be great to have something like that.
So I add to that because, as you said, we are doing auditions for performing arts and visual arts. So we have 3 more days for performing arts coming up. So one is next week, Tuesday, and then there's 2 in December. So if you know any students who are interested in our performing arts program, you can have them sign up for an audition. Also, our visual arts deadline got pushed back to next week, I want to say. So if any students are interested in visual arts, specifically at Lincoln Park, you can have them submit a portfolio so that we can review it. But also shout out to those teachers as well. Who review those.
Awesome. Thank you. Is there anybody else for public comments? Anybody online?
Hands up for public comment online.
I see one here. George, do you have a public comment? No, you're good? Okay. If you're good.
Divisive election. And whatever you do, don't attack the other side. There's no need for that anymore. Just isn't. And there
There's one
never
here.
was.
Thank you.
So,
Agree.
I know there's actually some kids who support,
George, let's not bring the political situation of the outside world into this today.
We do have.
We do have one person online, so, yeah, well, there's someone online and then we'll wrap up. We do not need to vote to close the meeting because we don't have a quorum, so it's not a formal meeting, so.
All right, Dr. Luke Macias, I see your hand is up. Macias, I see your hand is up. Unmute.
Can you hear us? Can you take your hand down if you can hear us? Okay.
Down. Okay.
But you can't speak because we can't hear you.
Type in the chat.
You can unmute if you would like. Don't, then don't.
Put your hand back up if you're trying to talk and can't. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna, oh, it's back up.
Dr. Luke Macias, you may speak. Sense of presence. Must unmute though. I'm asking you to.
Are you the owner of the meeting? Because I think
I am.
mute them.
I am.
He's trying to, but.
I can ask them to unmute. I just can't force them.
Why is it- Did that before?
Yeah, I did. I don't know why it's not hitting it.
Do you want to type something in the chat for us, maybe? I don't want to silence a voice. It does not appear to be working. Can you do it from back there?
I'll try again. I bet it's asking them to, they have. Oh.
While we're waiting, I
Oh.
do have one more celebration while we're waiting.
Okay.
We passed the November 1st deadline, so all early application deadlines for seniors applying, which is
oh, Buckeyes.
I don't. We're promoting him to a panelist.
We're trying one more trick.
All right, I'm promoting you to panelist. Maybe that'll trigger it, but. So here it is. Yes.
Can you unmute?
All right.
Oh,
We're now a panelist.
there we go. Okay.
Still need to unmute.
Okay, we still can't hear you, so maybe your mic isn't working or something because you're showing you're unmuted. You showed you're unmuted.
Just chat is disabled, so it may only be a feature that allows us to unmute. It should be on the unmute from here.
Maybe you can send an email to,
Yeah.
or here.
Here we go.
Come back.
Here we go.
There
There
we
we
go.
go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm on my phone, biking back to home after evening school. I don't know why it was not letting me unmute. So I'll be brief. I just wanted to add a celebration to the ones that have been mentioned already. So I coordinate the Council on International Educational Exchange program at our school. We're part of their global school navigator network with all the selective enrollment schools in Chicago. So Jones, Peyton, Whitney Young, Lane Tech, and Limblom. So we're all part of the network with them. And last year we sent 16 students to study abroad. And I just want to remind everyone that how important this program is. Like, study abroad, for those whoever did it, it's a life-changing experience. And the celebration in particular is that 2 of those 16 students, Ilan Lansky and Liv Navia, they got the Global Seal of Biliteracy, which is the seal of biliteracy that senior students sit for in their senior year, but recognized internationally. So before they became seniors, they already got it in their case for Spanish. And I think this is huge. And I just want to let you all know about this and ask you for your collaboration in promoting this amazing program, which gives our students 3 years of opportunity to get a scholarship to study abroad over the summer.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. And with that, if there's no more, another public comment. Alicia.
So I noticed the final schedule for the end of the semester was posted, which was nice. What surprised me was that the finals are 1 week after they come back from holiday. And so my question, or what I was wondering was, can they have the finals before the holidays, and that way they don't have the two weeks of losing stuff in their brain.
That was, I think, a result of the DNC, right? And everything got pushed back. And so in order for there to be enough instruction time before the final, they had to do this was like the big controversy when they were voting, when we were all voting, is that it was going to be pushed back, which meant finals for these kids would be after winter break, right? Isn't that?
Like a middle, yeah, something like that, yeah. Yeah, no, I know.
It sucks. It sucks for these kids.
Yep.
not fun.
No.
Yeah.
It's a student.
Yeah. Yep.
Will this be changed back next year?
Yes. It was voted on. I believe it was already voted on. It was like, we voted 2 years. The first year was this year, starting this week later, and next year it's going back to that week earlier because of
Yeah.
it was all because of the DNC.
Yeah.
Which clearly was a
Well,
success.
hopefully it doesn't impact grades,
What? No meeting to conclude. Our next meeting is December 12th. Please make sure to mark your calendars so we're all here and we have quorum.
I apologize for being late today. I will not be at the December 12th one because we have a game.
Okay. Is there any, our meeting's over, so.
and I as well had already.
So you won't be here either.
I won't be here on the 12th.
Okay.
I had already stated that when we created the schedule.
Okay, you guys will both be here. You'll both be here on the 12th?